Hello everyone, welcome to Mastery of Metal. I'm Daniel Peters. This lesson is about the major scale. It is important to learn how to play scales. I started just playing by ear and, maybe I thought I was really cool, like Eddie Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix. Those are some guys who learn by ear. Most old-fashioned guitarists would learn by playing along with records, and I could just say like a whole list: Dimebag Darrell, John Petrucci, Kirk Hammett. So it is good to jam by ear, but you do need to learn scales because otherwise you'll just be playing all over the place, and particularly when you're in a band or there's a song and they say, okay, let's play in the key of G major, and you don't know where a G note is, and you don't know what the major scale is. That's a disadvantage. So this is not going to stifle your playing, it's going to help it. You can play by scales and theory as well as by ear and instinct. So the major scale will start on G on the 3rd fret. Now, the starting note of your scale is called the root note. And that's just the beginning note. So if I'm there, I'm starting on G, that's the root note. They also call this the 1, for obvious reasons, it's number 1. Now to play this G major scale, I'm using my middle finger. So just salute you there with the middle finger. You can just respond in kind and do a step, go up 2 frets, so 1, 2, I'll just call that a whole step, and a half step is just 1 fret. So a whole step, like that, and now we go to the A string, and we go back to the 2nd fret, and do a half step, so let's just repeat that, whole step, then A string, go to the 2nd fret, and you can see my pointer is actually on the A string. So, like that. Now a whole step with that little finger again. So this is, sounds familiar? Now go down to the D string, to the 2nd fret, and that's the whole thing. So it's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Now let's just practice this pattern and make it easy so we can all remember this. And that's 8 notes, and that's our whole major scale from G up to the next G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dead easy. Okay, so you should have that by now. Now we're going to follow that and go up the next octave, or the next 8 notes. So if we start here, so here's our next G, start there and then whole step, half step, whole step, but this time we're going back to that 3rd fret. So whole step, half step, then back to the 3rd fret, whole step, and half step. And guess what? This ending note is G again. So that's simple. You finish on G, you start on G. Let's go back down. So you can see that. Half step, whole step. And there's that G again. And that's our major scale, which sounds very melodic and very sort of, it's just a nice carefree sound. Now, when you're practicing these scales, try to get them as clear and as easy as possible. Like that. One other thing I should tell you is when you're playing this major scale and you go up to that next G, you can also that's the starting note or the root note of the next octave. You can also play it over here. If I figure it out. I never play it there, but there we go. So if I go up to that, you can see that's just another G where I could also go up, and you could just work your way from G to G all the way up the fretboard. Now with the major scale, there's one other thing you should know, and this is a very basic pattern. So if you were to go straight up this string, and if you do whole step, whole step, whole step, so half step, basically the pattern is whole, whole, half, then whole, 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 how many is that? 3. Whole, 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 yes. Whole, 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 and then half. So, like this. Whole, whole. So, whole, whole, half, whole, whole, and then half. And now we're in G all the way up here. Now when you're playing in your band or with a track and they say play in G major, you know that if you find a G anywhere and play that pattern, you'll be playing in G major. If you play any of the notes in that scale as a chord, they will also fit in with the scale. So that means if you're jamming and one guy wants to play lead, he can be going like that, and the other guy can be playing 3 chords, you know, like, and they'll be playing together perfectly. Now, that's pretty straightforward for a major scale. What I want to explain is that this does not stop you from playing and using your ear or your intuition. So suppose I'm playing this scale and I want to add a note. Like that, there's nothing stopping me. There's no law, you know, no one's going to come and arrest you, you know. See, if I'm bending notes, I'm already going outside of the scale just by bending the note. So you can really use your creativity. Now, I recommend that you practice these scales with a metronome. So that's just a very simple matter of getting better at them, and build up probably to 120 BPM 16th notes for each scale. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson with the major scale, and I hope you find it very simple and easy to understand. Thank you for listening, and please work this into your playing and see what you can do with it. Have a nice day.